Hi everybody, the video just cut out, so we're going to start over and try again. Today is the 9th of September. This is the last part of section 2.3 that's going to be on your test on Wednesday. Definition: if a and b and a is not equal to b are in the domain of the function y equals f of x, so there's some function f of x, the average rate of change from a to b is defined as average rate of change is change in y, the triangle means change in, or delta, change in y over change in x equals f of b minus f of a over b minus a, where a is not equal to b. This is f of b, which is the y value of b, and this is f of a, the y value of a, and you subtract the y values over subtract the x values. What other algebra concept is defined by change in y over change in x? Does anybody know? It's the slope. Change in y over change in x. That's what slope is. Change in y over change in x. So we're going to do some problems. The average rate of change of 1/2 x squared. So if we were going to graph 1/2 x squared, it would be a parabola that's kind of flat. And if this is 0, and if this is 1, and this is 2, and this is 3 up here, the average rate of change of 1/2 x squared from 0 to 1. So this is A and this is B. So you're going to write change in y over change in x every time, okay? Especially on the test. F of 1 minus f of 0 over 1 minus 0. So substitute in a 1. 1 squared is 1, so it's 1/2. Minus, substitute in 0. 0 squared times 1/2 is 0 over 1. So you just get 1/2. So the average rate of change from here to here is 1/2. 0 to 3. From 0 to 3, what's the average rate of change? It's steeper than that was. You're going to write change in y over change in x equals f of 3 minus f of 0 over 3 minus 0. So if we put a 3 in, 3 squared is 9. 9 times 1/2 is 9/2. F of 0 is still 0 over 3 minus 0. So we have 9/2 divided by 3, which is times 1/3. When you divide, you multiply by the reciprocal. The 3's cancel, and we get 3/2. Or 9 over 6, which reduces to 3/2. For 0 to 5, change in y over change in x equals f of 5 minus f of 0. Write that part every time. 5 minus 0. 5 squared is 25 times 1/2. F of 0 is still 0. 5 minus 0, so we get 25 over 2 times 1/5. The 5's cancel, and we get 5 over 2. That's how you do the rate of change, the average rate of change. The slope of a secant line. The average rate of change of a function from a to b equals the slope of the secant line containing the 2 points a and f of a, that's x comma y, and b, f of b, that's x comma y. When you put in b, you get f of b. When you put in a, you put in f of b on its graph. So when we used to teach geometry, you learned what secants were, but you can look at page 76 and page 77. So there's going to be a circle, and then the line that goes through the circle and intersects it at two places is called a secant line. It intersects a circle at two places. It's called a secant. So the first one doesn't make sense because it says -2 to x. So we're going to find the average rate of change from -2 to 1 of g of x, which is right here. So change in y over change in x equals f of 1 to -2, f of -2 over 1 minus -2. So f of 1 is -2 times 1 squared plus 4 times 1 minus 3. -2 times 1 is -2 plus 4 minus 3. 2 minus 3 is -1. So we get -1 minus f of 2, -2, is -2 times -2 squared plus 4 times -2 minus 3. -2 squared is 4, so it's -8 plus -8 minus 3. -16 minus 3 is -19 over 1 plus 2, because 1 minus a -1 is positive 3. And this is -1 plus 19, because minus and minus is a plus. So 18 over 3 is 6. That's the average rate of change. So the slope is 6 of the line. Find the equation of the secant line containing -2 g of -2 and 1 g of -1. So we found the average rate of change already. So the slope, so this is -2, -19, because we found f of -2. And this is 1, -1, because we found f of 1 was -1. So between these 2 points, we're going to use point slope form. Y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. So y minus -19 equals 6. That was the average rate of change, or the slope. X minus -2. So y plus 19 equals 6 times x plus 2. And we can keep going. This is in point slope form. Y plus 19 equals 6x plus 12. Y equals 6x minus 7. That's slope intercept form. If we use the other point instead, and we use point slope form, it's y minus -1 equals 6 times x minus 1. Y plus 1 equals 6 times x minus 1. That's the point slope form right here. And then y plus 1 equals 6x minus 6. Y equals 6x minus 7. That's the slope intercept form. So it says use a graphing utility, draw the graph of G and the secant line. So there's a Desmos, www.desmos.com, where you can graph things like a graphing calculator. You would put in this equation in, and then you would put in this equation in and see where they intersect, and it would look like this. And it's a secant line. It's a line that intersects the circle in two places. or intersects the parabola in two places. So your homework number 14 is on the website on Canvas. So I will see you guys on Friday. Thank you.